The women's soccer team was in action 3 times this past week. Their first game was a 4-0 victory over Sherbrooke on Monday night. Jessica Dodig opened the scoring with a header off a corner kick. Then Frédéric Clivard led the rest of the way for the Gators, putting up a hat-trick, the first for a Gator player since 2008. The team then traveled to Montreal for a pair of games on the weekend. They dropped a tough couple of games, one against McGill and one against Concordia, by scores of 2-0 and 3-0 respectively. It was senior day for the women's rugby team as they hosted the GGs for their last home game of the regular season. The Ottawa GGs played spoiler, however, coming away with a 101-0 victory. The lacrosse team was on the road for 2 games this past weekend. First up was in Peterborough for a crucial Kufla East matchup against the Trent Excalibur. The Excalibur came away with a victory 16-9. The Gators then traveled to Kingston to take on Queens for the second time this season. The Gators won a close game by a final score of 12-11. Joel Wright led the way for the Gators this weekend with 4 goals and 3 assists over the 2 games. The men's rugby team made the trip across town to take on the Sherbrooke Veillard on Saturday night. Led by Darian Crawford, the Gators won another close game 25-21 to remain undefeated on the season as they improved to 4-0. The women's basketball team traveled to North Bay, Ontario for an exhibition tournament. The Gators played against Algoma on Friday night, but they came away with a 72-50 victory. And then they went on to face the host team Nipissing on Saturday, where they won another game by a score of 76-46. The men's basketball team hosted a pair of exhibition games this weekend. On Friday night, Queens was in town to play the Gators, and they gave the Gators all they could handle, and even more as the Gales went on to win 81-66. Then on Sunday, the Ottawa GGs were in town, which was another tough matchup for the Gators, which they ultimately dropped by a score of 85-70. Darian Crawford of the men's rugby team and Frédéric Clivard of the women's soccer team were named this week's Provigo Robert Laffont Bishops Athletes of the Week. It's a busy schedule next week for the Gators. The women's rugby team are in action on Friday, as well as the men's rugby team. Both teams will be in McGill. It'll be women at 6, men at 8:30. Football team is back in action after a bye week as they host Acadia on Saturday at 2 p.m. on Coulter Field. The lacrosse team is back home on Sunday to host Trent Excalibur in another crucial Kufla East matchup on 1 p.m. And men's basketball has 3 exhibition games in BC. They travel there on Thursday to play Victoria. Then on Friday and Saturday, they are part of the UBC Invitational.